Alrighty. What is a full-on snow? My highest level of athletic achievement to date. I forgot my wipes. Uh-oh. Okay. I got a hand. So, there are 4 sports that I'm going to include. So, for this, because at a certain level, like all sports can be competitive if you're with competitive people. So, for highest level of athletic achievement, we're going to start with rugby. And that one was intercollegiate. So intercollegiate, inter means like between, like more than, like between different schools, kind of, for this context. So like it was not just like scrimmage with my own team. It was, we played people from other colleges, and this was a club. So intercollegiate club sport. Not NCAA. So not NCAA. And we did travel. So I think the furthest I traveled was Oregon. So it was Interstate. So like you can compete against other colleges, intercollegiate, but like, so I went to the University of Washington and played for the female rugby team, the club. And so like we competed against the University of Oregon, but some people might be in a system where they don't actually compete against colleges from other states. So it's possible to play intercollegiate and not be interstate. I have competed against people from colleges, and I think we actually traveled to Oregon. So yeah, I got sweatpants, that might work better. Laundry day. Oh. Okay, so that was rugby. That's the highest level of athletic achievement. For any sport that I've achieved, there's swimming. I don't know if, so swimming, and I should say athletic achievement in the sense of competition. So like, I was on the University of Washington Husky Masters, but I just went to practice. I didn't compete. So technically, that's not competition. So I'm built into this as the highest level of athletic achievement in terms of competition. So for swimming, my highest level, so I competed scholastically in high school, so that means I just swam for the high school team. So, and I was in 4A, so there's 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A. So 4A is pretty big. So this is 4A, district championships, Washington State. So we actually have fast cutoff times, so you have to reach a certain time to be able to compete at districts. They have cutoff times, you have to reach the time to be able to compete, and then you can only have like so many people from each school. I think there's like a cap on the number of athletes, or that was state or something. I did not go to state championships. I was not that good. I was off by like over 10 seconds. Yeah, so just districts for me. 4A, this is swim and dive championships. I did not dive, I swam. And so I made it in breaststroke. Yeah, that's about it. This was within state and within districts. So I didn't even compete from people across the street. I only competed against high schools. So this is high school, scholastic, district level. So district means I didn't compete against people from like Yakima County. I didn't compete against people from Spokane. I didn't even compete against schools from Seattle. And I live in we live in King County and we swam against schools mostly from Snohomish County. So, because they were in our district, our swim district, which did not line up with political county boundaries. So, like, I didn't swim schools that were in my own county, which is kind of like, to some people, screwed up. Our 4A times were actually really fast. I met people from other states whose times were like, I would have been a distance freestyle swimmer if I had been in like Pennsylvania, you know, stuff like that, for example, or hypothetically. So there was stuff like, partially it's just Washington State's fast. There have been multiple Olympic athletes, Olympic medalists in my lifetime, like Megan Kwan, who was a breaststroker. In my lifetime, Nathan Adrian, Ariana Kukors. So Washington State times are, I would say, compared to average, pretty fast. But I was not that good. I didn't even compete against schools in my own freaking county. So that's swimming. Water polo was better. So the highest level of competition for water polo, high school, they didn't, if I'm recalling correctly, it was a club sport. So it was club, but they didn't break it down into like 4A, 3A. I don't think. We did play against like Mercer Island and stuff like that. So we did play against schools from King County for water polo. We played interstate tournaments. At least one tournament, and like we played against teams from like California, so really good. Like if you look at the US Olympic team, there's like one person from Florida and the rest are from California. So we played teams from California. I'm not saying like we were the bum for like Washington State, but we did. No, I'm joking. Turns out I'm a pretty good sprint freestyler when you add the motivation of like getting or keeping a ball. We played at the state championships level. And we came in, when I was on the team, second and third, not in that order, in the reversed order, but state championships level. So that means we were the second and third best teams in the state of Washington. So that was pretty cool. And we played people from different counties. We got, yeah, it was a pretty big deal for me, that kind of thing. And interstate tournaments. So we got to compete against people from, for example, California. I don't remember. There might have been like a team from Canada, which if that was the case, it was just a tournament, but it was not like, yeah, I don't actually even remember if there was a team, because there might have been a team from Canada, because it was held at the King County Aquatic Center in Federal Way, Washington State, which isn't far from Canada. So it might have, this might actually be the only international thing I've done. But yeah, so that's water polo. And then the last one, the lowest, this is an interesting sport. So track, running, track and field, but the track part, not the field part, so running, was high school team, I was junior varsity, was my highest level attained. Yeah, I didn't, it was just high school competition. I didn't make it to any championships. I didn't qualify for districts. I didn't qualify for state. So high school team, dual meets. So we only ran against people in our district, so not even necessarily the county I lived in. I wasn't very good because I had been running for a grand total of like 1 year of my life. A lot of people had been running for like 6 years or 10 years. And so there were a bunch of people who were faster. By the time I left high school, so I only did this for 1 year. By the time I left high school, I was getting really fast, and I actually got an offer to compete in college, and I turned it down. So if you're going for like That would never happen in swimming. Like, swimming is so structured compared to running. Running allows for upwards mobility, and if you're truly talented and truly good at what you do, it's possible to get offers. And swimming, you have to, like, I was running on my own. I wasn't, like, just, I'd measure out, like, a distance or a trail and then run it for time for myself, and I got an offer based on those times. I didn't have to compete at, like, even just track and field open meets and stuff like that. In swimming, you do. In running, you don't. I speaking from experience, I got an offer. And so it's just kind of interesting, like, in terms of freedom to train and just be good at what you do, running was unique out of these four. But those are my highest levels attained.